Justice Smith. Jabari for three and the win. Yeah! He got it!
We are here to fuel Rockets news. This is the Rockets Fuel podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Lashard Binkley. I'm a credential reporter covering the Houston Rockets and Rio Grande Valley Vipers. You can always find my written work over at Rockets on SI, which is part of Sports Illustrated. And of course, you can find me on Twitter X at Binkley Hoops. And on today's show, I want to definitely get on right after the Rockets have won. After the Rockets won their ninth straight game, they're now 46-25. They are now a full game up on the Denver Nuggets. They are 2.5 games up on the Memphis Grizzlies, along with 2 games up on the Los Angeles Lakers. And it's the first time they've beat the Miami Heat since 2019. They had lost 9 straight games against the Miami Heat. So this is the first time in several years they're able to defeat the Miami Heat. And they were able to do so tonight, 102-98. A huge victory. Like I said, gives the Rockets their 9th straight victory. 21 games over 500. That's the most games they've been over 500 in several seasons. And they had several great performances that led to them being able to get this 9th straight win. We already know going into the game, even though Heat have been struggling, that it was going to be a tough matchup. Like I said, the Rockets haven't beat them in 6 years. So we knew it was going to be a tough matchup, especially after the incident that happened after the last game in Houston where Miami won, where Tyler Hero and amenthompson, I guess you could say they got into it because amenthompson really was the one that came out on top when it came to that interaction. But we knew it was going to, definitely be some sore feelings going into this game, especially with amenthompson making his return back from his ankle injury tonight. And boy, was it a return. He had 18 points. He had 9 rebounds. He had 7 steals. And he also, figured, well, why don't I just throw in 5 assists as well? I mean, an absolute great game. He was a game high plus 20. But before I get into that, because today's topic is going to be the 3 reasons why the Rockets were able to come away with this victory, I definitely want to talk a little bit more about the standings. The Denver Nuggets are currently playing right now and actually playing without Jokic again tonight. So it leaves a little bit of a question whether he's going to play against the Rockets on Sunday, but I have a feeling that game he'll actually be in the lineup for, because tonight they're playing the Portland Trailblazers, and at the time of recording, Denver Nuggets are up by 9 points on Portland. I guess they kind of figure they can probably beat Portland without Jokic. Jokic has missed the last couple of games, so I guess we have to wait and see whether he's going to play on Sunday. But I got to imagine as important as this game is as far as the standings are concerned, we're now only, 11 games left in the season, at least for the Rockets. I have to imagine he's probably going to play on Sunday against the Rockets, as important as that game is, because Rockets aren't the Portland Trailblazers. So you got to be at full strength to be able to beat the Rockets, especially these days. Nobody's beating the Rockets in the last 9 games. Like I said, they've won now 9 straight games. And in this podcast, I wanted to give a kind of quick synopsis of the 3 reasons why I believe the Rockets were able to come away with this victory. And I already talked a little bit about reason number 1. That would be amenthompson. He was amazing again tonight. He wasn't a leading scorer. Another reason why the Rockets won, that person was a leading scorer, but amenthompson did pretty much about everything else. You can kind of tell that he was ready for this game. He wanted to come back for this game. Even his dunks were different tonight. He had a little bit more authority behind his dunks. You can definitely tell that he was ready to get some revenge against the Miami Heat, especially Tyler Hero. And that's another thing. Even though amenthompson didn't guard Tyler Hero the entire night, it was an entire team effort, especially with Tari Eason as well guarding Tyler Hero. They held Tyler Hero to 3 of 11 from the field. He only scored 8 points. That tied for his season low on the season. He scored 8 points one other time, actually earlier this month. So that tied for a season low for Tyler Hero. They completely shut him down. Every time he would come off of picks, they were forcing him back to the outside. They made him try to shoot his floaters. They were keeping him off the 3-point line. They were all over Tyler Hero tonight. You can kind of tell like they circled him as their priority in this game, and he completely shut him down. I mean, like I said, if you can stop Tyler Hero, he's their main guy, especially with Jimmy Butler now traded. Even though they did add Andrew Wiggins, but still Tyler Hero is the main guy. He's the all-star on the team. And the Rockets, along with amenthompson, made it a point to shut him down. But going back to amenthompson again, I mean, he saw exactly why he is so important to this team. I mean, the fact that you were able to win all those games without him, and now you're getting back amenthompson, who, if he's not the most important player on the team, he's really close, because it's not just because he just scores. I mean, like I said, he had 9 rebounds. He had 7 steals tonight, and he had 5 assists. He's able to do all these things and only had 2 turnovers. I mean, you talk about efficiency. That's efficiency, off the charts. You're talking about with Amenthompson, and he just does so many different things for this team. And the fact that MA is just willing to give a second-year player as many minutes as he gives Amenthompson. Thompson played the second most minutes out of all the starters on the team. And this is after he missed several games, and this is his first game back. It's just like he didn't miss any games. He just went right back out there and does what he does every single night, and that's fill up the stat box, fill up the scoreboard. And he did again tonight, and he was definitely one of the main reasons why the Rockets were able to come away with a win. Because, I mean, each and every steal for him was also a momentum shifter for the Rockets every time he had a steal, because it wasn't just, he's getting steals and, they're setting up the offense. No, he was getting steals and getting dunks on the other end. And that's a huge, huge turning point for any team, especially when you're on the road and you're trying to break a losing streak to a team. I mean, he had 2 or 3 steals where it led to easy dunks for himself. Another steal where Rockets had just missed a shot. He somehow got his hand on the ball. Rockets able to get it back, and they were able to get a 3-pointer out of that possession. So he was just all over the court tonight. He's definitely one of the reasons why the Rockets were able to come away with this win. Another reason why they were able to come with this win, I can't go any further without talking about Fred VanVleet tonight. When the Rockets were struggling on offensive end, Fred VanVleet was there every step of the way. He finished the game with 37 points. I mean, he couldn't miss. It was probably the best shooting game of the season. Even though he has scored 40 points in a game this season, this was probably his most efficient game. He was 13-17 from the field, 9 of 11 from 3-point range. So he was only one off of the team record that Dylan Brooks tied earlier in the season. And of course, Chandler Parsons and James Harden are also on that list. I wish somebody would break it so we can go ahead and move past Chandler Parsons, but that's a whole nother story. But I mean, Fred VanVleet, like I said, 13-17 from the field, 9-11 from 3-point range, only had 1 turnover. That's another thing that's been a difference. Even though he hasn't been scoring this much until tonight, since he's been back, he has been able to get the Rockets offense back to where it was as far as not turning the ball over as much, even though they did have 15 turnovers tonight, but you still didn't feel like the offense was scrambling or having trouble getting into their sets. That's kind of what he does. He kind of gets the Rockets into their sets. And even though he's not the most flashiest passer, he's not going to turn the ball over. That's one thing he said about Fred. He's not going to turn the ball over. And there was also a moment during a timeout in fourth quarter where you saw him coaching up the team, and that's another element that he brings to it that doesn't show up in the scoreboard and a lot of people don't talk about. And that's another reason why MA loves Fred so much, for better or for worse, however you look at it. I know some people don't like how much he depends on Fred VanVleet, but he values somebody that he feels is another coach on the court, and you saw that during that timeout. Him coaching up the team, him giving out direction, because at this point, like he was saying last year, he was just trying to get up to speed on what MA wanted. This year, he knows exactly what MA wants, and you can kind of tell he shows that when he's doing his, when he's helping out on the sidelines. Because a lot of times, just kind of give you a quick thing that they don't necessarily show during the timeouts. A lot of times when they do call it timeouts, MA takes his coaching staff to the side. The players are usually on the bench by themselves for the first, minute of a timeout, depending on how long the timeout is. And a lot of time it gives opportunities for people like Fred to, say what he's seeing on the court and saying things that, maybe they need to do a little bit differently. Because sometimes, I don't care how great of a coach you are, sometimes you may not see everything out on the court because you're not on the court. But when you're a player like Fred, who's been there, done that, won championships, is a former All-Star, that helps the coaching staff to have a player like that. And that's another reason why they brought him over. It wasn't just for him to go out there and score 37 points, which we know it's not going to happen too often, but it's because of the intangible things that he brings. And that's something, again, that he also brought tonight to the team, was that, ability to tell him, hey, this is what we need to do. This is what I'm seeing. And this is some of the things that we need to work on and get better at. The third reason, the final reason why they won the game was more of a team effort. And it has to be the 3-point shooting, because we all know the Rockets have struggled throughout the season from 3-point range. At one point, they had fallen all the way down to 20th, 29th in the league in 3-point shooting. They've gotten a lot better since 2025 started. They've definitely gotten a lot better. And actually, during this winning streak, coming into the game, they were shooting over 37% from 3-point range. They actually ranked 11th, which is something that I don't think a lot of people thought was going to come this season. But tonight, they shot 14 of 28 from 3-point range, 50%. And again, 28 attempts. There's not a lot of attempts in today's NBA, but if you can make 14 of them, that efficiency is off the charts. And that's something that if the Rockets get anywhere near that type of shooting, they're usually going to win the game. Surprisingly, they only scored 102 points, and one of the reasons why they only scored 102 points is because of the one thing that irks me more than anything about this team at times is their free throw shooting. And this is a three things why they won the game, but man, 10 to 21 from free throw line. The game shouldn't even been this close. If they make even half of their more of their free throws than they made. But anyway, back to the reason that they won, like I said, at 14-28. And that's with Dylan Brooks shooting 1 of 7 from three-point range. So basically, everybody else on the team was 13 of 21 from three-point ranges, which is a great percentage. Well, actually, you factor in Dylan Brooks was 1 of 7. Jalen Green was 0 for 4. So that's 1 of 11 by themselves. Now, granted, Fred VanVleet made 9 of those threes of the rest of the threes that were made, but still 14-28 from three-point range, especially in a game it's going to be low scoring when you're going up against the Miami Heat. There's going to be a slug it out game because they're not an offensive team. They sort of remind me of Orlando, where they can't really shoot outside of maybe one player. And they're going to play a low, slow, grinding out game, and the Rockets will be able to come away with the victory tonight. Like I said, even though Miami has not been a great team this season, they're only 29-41. They're not really going anywhere. But the Rockets hadn't beat them in a long time, and that's another one they can mark off. They had a long losing streak against Golden State that they were to mark off early in the season. They have struggled against Minnesota for the last several years, where Minnesota was embarrassing in a lot of games. They were to beat them earlier this season multiple times. So now you can mark off another one after losing 9 straight games to the Miami Heat. You were able to mark that off as a Rockets were able to come away with that 102-98 victory. So again, the 3 reasons why the Rockets were able to win was Amenthompson, great game. Fred VanVleet, 37 points, and the Rockets 14-28 shooting from three-point range, which was huge for a team, like I said, that struggled a lot from three-point range for most of the season. So if they can continue that would definitely be great. And of course, now they're going up against the Denver Nuggets on Sunday. We'll find out if Jokic is going to be playing. That is a huge game. The biggest game the Rockets have up to this point in the last 4 seasons, as the Rockets inch closer and closer. They had their magic number for getting into the playoffs, not just the postseason, but the playoffs, was 7 coming into this game. So, of course, they were able to knock that down. And if some teams lose, they can go down even further as they inch closer and closer to, at this point, I would be absolutely shocked if they somehow fall out of the top 6. It would have to be a monumental collapse for them to fall out of the top 6 with only 11 games left. And as they continue to win, there's no way that's going to happen. So right now, it's just a matter of making it official, and they can get even closer to that on Sunday as they face off against a Denver Nuggets team that's right behind them in the standings. Like I said, more than likely, you're going to have Jokic. Of course, Russell Westbrook saw his career resurrected in Denver. Jamal Murray, I don't know if he was back tonight because he also missed a couple of games as well, but I think they're saying he's probably going to be back tonight. So more than likely, you're going to see a full Denver Nuggets team on Sunday at home. I would hope that the Toyota Center will be loud and full. And just real quickly on that, because I know that a lot of times that comes up as a conversation that looks empty on television. And a lot of times, yeah, it's some late arriving people, but at least for the most part, the stuff they don't show on camera usually it's a lot fuller than they show on television. Because a lot of times the shot that they're showing is a lot of the corporate seats, and those people don't necessarily even show up to a lot of these games, or they show up really late. But a lot of times, at least from what I can see from where I'll be sitting in press row, it'd be pretty full in the arena. So, but hopefully the entire arena will be full. It's a Sunday early game at 6:00. Huge game, the biggest game the Rockets have had in several seasons. There's no reason why it should not be full. It should not be loud. As the Rockets go for their 10th straight victory. Of course, every game they continue to win is the longest, adds on to their longest winning streak of the season. So we'll see how all that plays out on Sunday. I'll be out at that game, so I'll definitely be bringing you pre and post from that game and everything in between, of course, and, including shoot around, player routines before the game. Whatever I can bring you as far as footage, I'll definitely be putting up on the YouTube channel. As usual, I appreciate your support. If you are new to the channel, definitely welcome in. And as you go through our channel, you'll see that we do a lot of different things, not just podcasts. I try to bring pretty much every element of the Rockets onto the channel, from pre and post game to charity events to practices. I try to bring everything to you on this channel. So definitely, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, like the video, so it helps us out with the algorithm. That's always a welcome addition for me, as it helps get our channel out to more people. And again, I'd like to thank everybody that always comes to the channel, check out the videos, and make sure you check out the next episode of Rocket Fuel Podcast.